allocating some resources. There we go. Just because.
The door is open, so come on in. Sound check done, let's begin. Breaking news, the guest is you. Streaming live for you to view. Open House the podcast. Open House the podcast. Ooh. The door is open, so come on in. Sound check done, let's begin. Breaking news, the guest is you. Streaming live for you to view. Open House the podcast. Ooh. Open House the podcast. Ooh.
You're gonna have. The door is open, so come on in. Sound check done, let's begin. Breaking news, the guest is you. Streaming live for you to view. Open House the podcast. Open House the podcast. Ooh. Good morning and welcome to Open House the podcast. It's actually happening. We have a mad dash and scramble at the end.
Yeah.
But we made it. It's one of those things.
The learning curve, right? There we go. We gotta remember to hold it closer and talk quieter because we are currently inside of a echoey chamber.
Yeah. You just got to keep it real close.
It'll be good. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I am back where I started when I started professionally podcasting, out here in the great offices of Mark Z's office, everybody. There. It's great. It's deja vu because this is where I first started, and as you can see, this is as much of a train wreck as it was the first time I started the podcast out here. We have an awesome guest with us today. You guys have seen him. He's sitting right in front of you if you're watching live. If you're listening, I've been actually wanting to do this episode for quite some time. And when I had my last podcast, I actually talked to Chad about this and said, man, I'd love to get you on because everybody's talking about you behind your back. Let's talk about you to your face. And Chad said, I know, and I'm down. And I love that even more. So I've been really excited and I'm really looking forward to this conversation. My mic stand broke right before the show started, so you're gonna see me try to make a. You know what, Summer?
Yes.
I have 2 extras of these somewhere. Did you see those sitting around anywhere?
I do. Yeah.
Because I'm gonna try to turn that into a mic stand while we're just sitting here. Shout out to Guitar Center, who's gonna hopefully replace this mic stand for me because it just snapped in half right before.
So
the
we're
show
setting
started.
up. We're almost ready. The phone's not plugged in though. Johnny's mic just went snap, and it just flung and broke. The metal broke. So
nope, this is good. There we go. I got it. You know, this is a good success principle here, isn't it, Chad? Life is all about how can you pivot and how can you just make it work. I've done this before. It's fine. I can just hold the mic. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
As you can see, it's a much more professional. No, this is great. I love it. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you.
You know, the thing about it is if you follow the Mark Z team, you will see constantly your name keeps popping up. Hey, this month I did this and I did this, and you got these little graphics all over the place. And what's great about that is I know you didn't start that way because I know when you started. And it's cool to watch, like, okay, the first graphic, the first time one of those went up for you, then a few months later, another one. And now it's like every single month.
Yep.
And we're just teasing you about your social media because your social media game's weak.
100%.
But what's great about it is everybody else is posting about what you're doing. So it works.
Yeah. It's hard because, like, I was in a social media training yesterday, and one of the hardest things for myself is to post so much because I think I'm not very interesting.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like my self-limiting belief that, like, I don't think I'm interesting. Why would anyone else literally care?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just a mind shift change that I need to do or hire it out as I get bigger. You know, I was talking to Mark yesterday, and we think it's one of the biggest mistakes that realtors and business owners do is, you know, when we start, we don't have unlimited funds. So we're doing literally everything ourselves.
We know
we're social media experts.
Yeah.
We're doing our own showings. We're writing our own offers.
Yeah.
We're literally front to back. And as we start, we hire a transaction coordinator, and then maybe we hire an assistant or things like that along the way. But it's always way too late. That had we done it earlier, we could have grown and scaled our businesses so much faster.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I'm just at that point where I need to hire a social media person and
Well, that's a
have
good
them do
point
it.
to be at, though.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad point at all.
No.
But
Yeah, social media does take a lot of time and attention. You know, answering comments, stuff like that,
Yep.
posting.
getting your makeup right.
For
Me and
sure.
Chad know about that, don't we?
I mean, it's not easy to look this good, Johnny.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
trust me, I know.
Yeah, no.
I get it.
I bet you guys take a long time to get ready in the
Long
morning.
time. You know, it's funny because, like I said, I've been able to take a look and watch how you've grown, and now it's cool because not only are you constantly breaking records out here, which is you know, the Mark Z team has always broke records anyway. But then you got a guy inside that's now breaking more records. How many records have you? I remember when Mark Z came out with a video and said that you did like a triple double. I don't know. He like ordered ice cream. Do you remember what he was talking about?
Yeah, we so last year, I think it was June or May, something right in that range. Did a triple double.
That was it. Doesn't that sound like an ice cream order?
Yeah, it does.
Which was, you know, in basketball, like, it's the coveted. Everyone can get a double, but a triple double. It was over 10 pendings, so double digit pendings, over 10 listings, double digit listings, and over 10 closings in a month.
In 1 month. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. When I saw that video, I was like, "What is a triple double?"
Yeah,
First off,
like that month was stupid because I think I did 17 closes and broke the team record for closes in a month.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, that's a lot in 1 month.
I did 12 brand new listings, and I did I think either 10 or 11 pendings that month to hit it. So, like, I like, if you add it all together, it was something stupid like 8 or 9 million and we were looking, we're like, a lot of realtors would hope this was their year.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
we knocked it out in a month. So
That's
it was
awesome.
pretty special and
Congratulations.
awesome.
That's
Thank you.
huge.
Thank you.
Now, did you take the next? Let me ask you, how did your next month look? Was it lower because you couldn't keep up with everything, or?
So the closes were a little lower.
Yeah.
Just because to hit the 17, some of my 10 pendings, I think like 4 or 5 of them were cash deals that closed the same month.
Yeah.
So I think the next month I only did 5 closes the next month, 4 or 5 closes that next month. But I still maintained, I think, 8 or 9 listings and another double-digit pending month.
Wow.
Okay, man, that's crazy. Now, are you at this point? Because I don't know this. Do you have an assistant working with you, or are you just doing everything yourself, like you were talking about?
So here is one of the incredible things about being part of this team.
Yeah.
Is it's all sort of built in.
Okay.
You know, like if I hired an assistant, I would probably have them do a little bit more.
Yeah.
But short of like writing offers, writing listing agreement, like listing packages, which literally take me 10 or 15 minutes, they're not that big a deal. Like when I pen something, my team just takes over and they literally do everything. We have amazing systems. Like we have open to close is how I manage all my pendings, where every morning I take the first 5 minutes, I go in, I look at every deal I have pending. And all I ask is, like, we have the 5 stages: pending, past inspection, past appraisal, clear to close, schedule to close. And all I do is I look at it each day. And this is just like a cheat hack for anybody who starts doing volume that isn't used to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your system is, but just look at it, ask what stage is it in, and what could I do right now this second to get it to the next stage.
Where does your stage start at?
Pending.
So why does your stage start at pending? If why not start on like people that have, like, they're not in contract yet? You know what I mean?
Oh, that's my follow-up.
Okay.
So that's something totally different.
What does that look like?
We'll get to that. So
Okay.
like we'll finish with the first one and then
All
get
right.
to the second one.
Let's start with the third one instead.
That sounds perfect.
Let's do a triple double.
So yeah,
There it
so the ones we have under contract, we need to make sure that because again, a mistake I see a lot of agents do is like they get something under contract and it's like their little baby and they have to nurture it and they spend 8 hours a day worrying about this one deal.
Yeah.
And literally all you need is 5 minutes a day. I literally look and say, it's pending, it needs to go past inspection. Well, inspection's Sunday. There's nothing I can do until Sunday, on to the next. And I just asked myself, where are we at? Oh, this one's past inspection. They did the appraisal last Friday. We're Friday. Now I'm just going to fire out a quick email to the lender. Hey, has appraisal came back at? Where are we at? Yeah. And like
nice.
in 5 minutes, I'm done. And then like I forget about all the business I have and let my admin team do that. Yeah. And then I get into step 2 is my follow-up. So now I work my CRM, which I use Follow Up Boss. I think hands down, it's the best one out there for me personally. I've used 2 or 3 and
yeah, you guys have gone through a couple switches.
Yeah.
You were here when Mark had his own system built before you guys went back to Follow Up Boss.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We've done it all. And Follow Up Boss is like literally hands down the best, because if you have your people in the right stages, it literally tells you when you need to talk to people.
Yeah.
So after I finish, that first 5 minutes, then I get into my follow-up. I work all of my current potential clients or leads that I have that are in my CRM and go through the same thing. Like, who's my hot people? Who do I need to talk to today to set up showings, whatever.
Yeah.
I start with them. Then I go to my warm, who are maybe, a once a week touch and not every 2-3 days. Then I get to my colds. How many do I have of that? And those are once a month touch. And honest to God, if you stay up on it and have people in the right stages, it literally takes me no more than 15 to 20 minutes a day to do all my follow-up and work all of my current clients. Yeah. And after I do that, then I just dive in and now it's time to find new.
So you start your day that's interesting. That right there. So instead of starting with prospecting, you're starting in your database and going through people that know you already before you jump into people that don't know you.
Yep.
That's an interesting system. Yep. Yeah, that's kind of different than what most people are like, big rocks first.
Yeah.
But here I think the difference is you're going to do it. How much time a day do you spend on prospecting?
it really varies day to day.
Yeah.
And what I have in my pipeline, because again, a mistake I see people make. I was just talking to one of our team members today. Like in my CRM, including the 230 people I've closed over the last 4 years, I have 350 contacts, and that's it.
Okay.
And because get them out of my name. I don't like, if I can't convert them, I put them into ponds or other places that other people can convert them on. And God bless. I focus on where do I think I have the best opportunity to convert, and I live there. Versus the scarcity mindset of what if I don't get another lead? What if I don't get another prospect?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, so this person had like 2,100 names, and in their hot alone this morning, they had 78. So
you can't work with that many people. And those people are all hot. We know that.
100%. And that's what we work through. And literally, I helped her out for 5-10 minutes, showed her some of the tricks that I do. Before we were coming in here, she's like, "Oh my God, I see light at the end of the tunnel." Like it's amazing. And I've been just trying to tell her, like, listen, let go. Like I have more leads that we have an amazing problem here.
Yeah.
We have too many leads.
Yeah.
But no, like
the
really,
thing that everybody says.
No. Like you guys are laughing at me.
Yeah.
We literally, I've uncovered 2 or 3 systems that we've had in place that nobody's been touching.
Yeah.
Like I uncovered yesterday, with Roxanne, my ISA, 500 seller leads that are in our CRM, have done business with us in the past, and have raised their hand and said, I might be looking to sell this year. Can someone talk to me?
Even talking to
and
them,
no one's touched them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like literally 500. Like I have 500 potential buyers.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
And we just didn't know that the systems were in place. Mark spends money, buys the best of the best for us, and provides us with so much that's amazing. And we're not even using it to its capacity.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
that's a common problem that I see across. Here, you want to hear something crazy? I was just telling this in the coaching the other day because I was just training on this. There is a team that I coached one time that had an untouched amount of leads, where the leads were sitting in there and they were ready to do something. But over the years, and I mean it was a buildup of years, but they spent a lot of money. Go ahead and just take a guess, Chad. How many untouched actual qualified leads where they actually went through there was a 5-stage of lead qualification. So if the lead goes through the entire form of all 5 stages, they're considered a high quality lead. Guess how many of these they were sitting on that had never been touched?
50,000.
You're 30,000 off. There was 80,000 leads in this system of people that went through all 5 stages of qualification through the system before they got entered.
Yeah.
That not a single person touched.
Do you want to know what's better than that, Johnny? I guarantee.
Can you beat that?
No. It's not that we can beat it. I guarantee, and I don't know the brokerage, and it's not a knock against anybody, but if we went and interviewed all the agents that were at that brokerage and left that brokerage, one of the top reasons why they probably left, there's not enough leads, there's no business, they're not helping me grow my business.
And I can't wait to talk to you about this.
It's already there, and you're just not taking advantage of it.
See, this is the difference, and this is actually why you're at where you're at, because we've watched, I mean, how many people have come and gone from the office, and we're going to get into some of the mud of it too. But the thing about it is you always consistently came in and you just worked the leads in the database. Like from the very beginning, when I first met you coming in here, like you were just kind of here working the leads in the database. So
I'm a numbers person.
Yeah.
And like when I did goal setting with my team this year, one of the things one of the biggest mistakes I think team leaders make is they tell people like, set your goals for the year.
Yeah.
And everybody, it's going into January 1st. Oh my God, this is the year. I did only 5 deals last year, but I'm going to do 60 and do 20 million, and it's going to be amazing. And most team leaders that I've seen and even come across, the response is, that's so awesome. I'm here to support you. I'm going to root you on. Go get it.
Yep.
And that's the end of it.
Yeah.
So the one difference, and I figured it out from the start, is to work the numbers. So here's basic numbers. Like if you wanted to do 60, let's just say 60 was your number you wanted to do, you have to close 5 a month.
Yeah.
Well, we know not every deal sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to probably pen about 7 a month. So like for that, if we take a listing, a conservative number is we're going to close somewhere between 60 and 75% of it. So if we said, hey, I want to close 3 listings a month, I need to have 4 live listings to do that. Like just plain and simple, like that's what it is.
Yeah.
So that might be 3, that might be half of them. So if I'm going to then pen another 4 buyers, very simple, for every 4 pre-approved buyers we have, it usually translates to 1 pending a month. So if I wanted to pen 4, I need 16 pre-approved buyers, not people who say it would be really cool to look at this house.
Yep.
Yeah.
But again, the mistake I see made, I have 5 pre-approved buyers and you don't know my 5 pre-approved buyers. They're all pending this month and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, like, can that happen 1 month? For sure it could happen.
Definitely.
But the numbers tell me I need 16. So if I have 8, then I know I need to keep prospecting to find 8 more to hit my numbers. So I literally just really focus and work on knowing what my goal is, knowing what I want to hit, and prospecting until I get what I need.
And I'm going to bring that up. First and foremost, man, you just math comed me. I don't know how you keep track of that in your head.
You killed that. You killed it. I kept up too.
Just tell me the number at the end. I have to use programs to do everything you just did. I mean, I get it's simple math, but it's I've got other stuff in there. But it's interesting because let's start at the very beginning, man. You started at this team when?
I got my license in late August of 2020.
Yep.
In the COVID year.
Yep.
I was the managing partner of a restaurant group at the time, so I was working 55 hours a week at the restaurant. But I know that I needed out. I was tired of just dealing with the public and jerks and
So you got into real estate?
Well, you laugh, but here's the deal. Like in a restaurant, we might have 600 people come through and 595 people a day are ecstatic and happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk to them here and there, but those aren't the people who want to talk to me. It's the 5 people who are trying to get over.
Yeah.
And they're just the worst of the worst. And it just drains. I'd done that for over 20 years and day in, day out, 6 days a week was pretty common for me in my path in the restaurants. It wore me. So I was just I just want to work with people who maybe would want my help.
Wow.
Interesting.
Interesting. That's my value prop. I'm here to help you. So if you don't want my help, it's fine. I'll go find someone who does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, again, you talked about it early on, and that comes to that mentality of there's a plethora of people out there that do want and need service.
Yeah.
And you're right. I was just talking to an agent yesterday and out in Colorado, and I had this conversation on a coaching call, and I'm like, the problem that I find with realtors is they think that their database, it's almost like a marriage to them. Every little lead that they've never talked to that won't return their call is this person they don't want to get rid of. They don't want to let go of them. It's a divorce to them.
It's a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
I may never get another lead.
Right.
So if I give up this one that already isn't talking to me, is taking up space in my database, is taking up space in my brain, what do I say this time? What do I do? What's my catch?
Yeah.
How am I going to do it? We focus so much time on them, just let them go. Go find another.
Right. And they're out there.
There is so much business. When you look at the real estate market, and this is honest to God how I've always looked at it, tell me anyone you know that doesn't need a place to live.
Yeah.
Right.
And the answer is none. Everyone needs a place to live.
Yeah.
Whether they're renting or buying or whatever they're doing, living with mom and dad, assisted care. I don't care. Everyone needs a place to live, which means we have an unlimited market. So now it's our job to just go find the people who have to.
Yeah.
And not the people who want to.
Yeah.
Because again, we trick ourselves. I'll go meet a client and they'll tell me, I would like to be in Birmingham, 4,000 square feet, totally remodeled, 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, and I need that for $200,000. Well, everybody wants it, but it doesn't exist. You're looking for a unicorn.
Yeah. No, that's true.
But agents will say, hey, if I found you this, would you? And they say yes.
Yeah.
And if I could find it for $220, would you? And they say yes. Well, it doesn't exist at 220. That's a $500,000 easy, if not $1 million house in Birmingham.
Like you're way off.
So like you're looking for something that doesn't exist, but you're telling yourself they're a pre-approved buyer for 220.
They're going to be on my hot list.
Like this
they're
is
gonna be
awesome.
On my hot list.
Like they're one of my ones.
Yep.
Like no, they're not. Like
Yes.
if you find like set up a search, keep them in your nurture, whatever. If you really had a good connection, like that's great.
Yeah.
But like they want to, they don't have to.
That's it.
On the flip side, the guy we just closed yesterday. Oh, I'm relocating to Alabama in January, so I have to sell my house.
There it is.
Like, oh, give me that guy all day long.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the problem is, and I want people to really get this. If you jumble your database up with, I always call them the Uncle Bobs, because I have an Uncle Bob, and you know what? Maybe one day he actually will buy that property up north. But the average agent will keep Uncle Bob in their hot list because if the right deal just came along, the problem is if you got an entire list of Uncle Bobs, then you're not able to find the Alabama guy because you're so busy working with all these other guys that are maybe someday ifs instead of I need to go now.
Yep.
So that's a great point, man.
Yeah. And like, here's even something different about me. Like I told you, I started because I didn't want to work with jerks anymore.
Yeah.
So, this is going to be a very different mindset or shift. I've only maybe made 10 to 15 for sale by owner calls ever.
Really?
Ever. And here's the deal. We could role play right now. I would probably nail it.
Yeah.
No
Okay,
script
sure.
in front
Ring.
of me. Hello. Is this the owner of 123 Main Street?
Well, this isn't a realtor call me, is it?
Actually, this is. My name's Chad. I'm with the Z Real Estate team, and I work with a lot of local buyers and sellers.
Ron already called me, and I told him no.
Oh, perfect. Well, I'm so glad he did. I actually just wanted to reach out and see how it was going for you so far.
Yeah, it's going great. I got 50 offers. I'm not going to take any of them.
Yeah, no, and why would you?
Yeah.
Obviously you have a hot commodity there, and there's no reason to short sell yourself. Let me ask you this, Johnny. Is the reason you're looking to sell by yourself to avoid paying commissions?
Well, of course. If there was any other reason, it would be insane.
100%. So, like, let me ask you this. If I had a way that I could help you sell your house, take all the pressure, all the stress, all the relief off of you, and actually net you more money, even paying commissions, than you would by yourself, is that something you would at least want to find out about and know about?
I appreciate where you're going, but I have this rare condition where I'm allergic to money.
I totally get that. But you just told me the whole reason was to avoid paying commissions, which means you want more money in your pocket.
Oh, there it is.
Well, like most FSBOs, I'm lying to you to get you off. No, that's good.
You killed
I
it.
love how it's like, if we did it right now, all right, go for it. But but it's interesting because you have that skill, yet you don't use that. And let's talk about that. Why is that?
So we started with my value prop that I offer people is I'm here to help the people who want my help.
That's so good.
And for sale by owners, I've taken for sale by owners when ISA sets them, but I don't have as much luck with them.
Yeah.
And the reason is because they're a clientele base that doesn't feel like they need help.
Right.
So
Because
my
that's why they're
value
selling it.
prop to them is worthless.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't want your help.
No, that's really interesting.
I did it by myself. So instead of listening to, you have to call for sale by owners and you have to call expires and this is how you have to build your business.
Yep.
I said, well, why don't I just go other places? I could do open houses. I could do buyers. I could start in that world. I could work with investors and find the investors that like aren't going to waste my time, aren't saying, hey, I'm just looking for off market. Like are true investors. Like if you bring me a good deal, I will like do. So I have 5 cash buyer investors that like literally I just submitted an offer this morning for one of them.
Yeah.
We didn't have to go look at the house. We didn't have to do like anything. We can't even get in the house without an accepted offer.
Wow.
So like he hit me up last night at 9:00. I wrote the offer this morning. They've received it. We'll see. They'll either counter or accept.
Yeah.
And then we'll just go take a look this weekend if we get it accepted and it's great. So I have investors I work with. There's so many ways to build a business. You could do it through networking. You could do it through social media. There's so many ways to build a real estate business. And again, I see so many brokerages that like, oh, you have to just call for sale by owners or expires. You have to just do Zillow leads, and this is the only way you can do it. You have to take these leads. You have to just be social media. We're going to be social media driven.
Yeah.
Like in like I just sat with a new agent yesterday, and we put a plan together of how she's going to hit her 20 deals this year.
Yeah.
She's been a licensed agent for a year. She's only done one deal at another brokerage. She just joined us. So we put it all together, and like crazy sharp lady. She's super successful. And we put it like, hey, some of it's going to come from for sale by owners and expired. Some of it's going to come from buyer leads. Some of it's going to come from open houses. Some of it's going to come from Spear and social media. So we put a plan together of what she needs to do activity-wise the next month. And then we said, in a month, we're going to get back together, and the plan could change.
Okay.
The number may not.
Yeah.
But if you come to me and say, hey, I did an open house a weekend, like we said,
Yeah.
and I'm killing it. Like I'm getting a buyer a
Well, then
weekend
you
or
go,
two
yeah,
buyers
yeah.
a weekend, and I enjoy that.
Yep. Lean into what you love.
Then great. Why don't we ramp up that activity?
Exactly,
Why don't you
yeah.
do 2 open houses a weekend and maybe one during the week?
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 hours of prospecting. What does it matter if you go call FISBOs or expires
Exactly, yeah.
or you go to an open house? Fish where the fish are. If you are good at that, do that.
You're right.
If you're great working with buyers, go for buyers.
Yep.
If you want to just be focused on sellers and you master your scripts and are a for sale by owner and expired killer, you should do that. And that's one of the things we've really been working on this year and seeing a huge difference in production is instead of saying everybody has to follow this mold and just do this, like build your business however you want to and use us to help you do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So okay. So now I want to. So okay, here you are. It's just after COVID. You think to yourself, I don't want to work 50 hours a week for anybody else, so I'm going to work 90 hours for myself. Right?
Yep.
Because you're always here. You were always here in the very beginning too. Like you were just always kind of here. How did you like? How did you? I think it kind of you just kind of always just did. You know what I mean? Like
so one of the things,
let's talk about your growth here.
Yeah. So one of the things is it's funny, Mark and I were talking today. So I got my license late August. And I had my license like literally maybe a week and a half. And going into the final weekend of the month, Mark, like in our group chat, our team group chat was like, hey, anybody who gets a pending this weekend, I'll give an extra $100 to. And shout out what you're doing. And all these people are like, I got this client. I have this. And I'm sitting at home on my couch and I felt like the biggest loser ever. Now, again, I've been a real estate agent for a week and a half, had no database. I didn't have any clients. I had nothing, but I was just like, I felt like such a dud. And I was just like, I'm competitive and like, that's not me.
Yeah.
So like, I'm never going to have that feeling again.
Yeah.
So, so I reached out to my sponsor, Zach Jones, and I was just like, hey, how do I get on like that floor time thing so I get leads that are coming in?
Yep.
And he's just like, well, you have to come to the office. You can only come to the office because you have to call from the house line, so it's recorded. And when you have 5 good conversations, every time you have a good conversation, you text Kurt, hey, at 5:30 from line number 13, I called. He'll listen. He'll pull it up, listen to it. He'll coach you, like you should have said this, should have done this. And once you have 5 good ones, he will put you on floor. It's like, perfect. I'm in. So I was like, I'm going to come and, and make that call on this day. And he's like, awesome. And I said, do you have scripts?
Yeah.
And this is no BS. He's just like, listen, we really don't for the buyer leads like this.
Yeah.
So just say this. Hey, this is Chad from the Z Real Estate team. I was calling to see if you were looking to buy or sell a house this year. That was legit my script.
Yeah.
About the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
I did it for 2 weeks and until I like developed into other scripts and how we can make it better. That being said, I did get 2 pieces of business from that.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Because I just kept calling people. When they said, I didn't know an objection handler. So I would say that, they would say no. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yeah.
Hey, are you looking to buy or sell a house this year?
I love this.
And I stumbled into 2 pieces of business.
Yeah.
Just by doing that.
Yep.
So I just started, and one of the things I think was huge, and I would recommend for anyone just starting out or whatever point in your career you really are, if you're not doing the numbers you want, don't let the fear of not knowing paralyze you. so many people like, I'll make the calls once I know I'm ready. I have my scripts mastered, I'm going to be great. Well, like until you do it, you're not really going to fully master it. And you don't know what you don't know until you start doing it and hit that roadblock. So I just sort of started and said, when I hit something that I don't know what to do, I'll just ask my sponsor, Kurt, Mark, someone on the team, and have them help me. And so I just kept doing things until I got hit the next roadblock. And then I asked, hey, how do I get past this? And then I would go until the next roadblock. So I started doing, again, like from September to December, I closed one deal, pended one more. And in that December, it really like started to click and pop. I had my phone scripts down, everything like that. And that December, I pended 3 deals and then had another showing partner where I was.
So we're talking 4 months later.
Yep.
And I would just want to preface this with, it's the average agent gets started in this business. This is what I see. You'll probably see the same thing on your team. They get started and everything seems like a good idea. They are sitting on their couch, and then somebody does give them a plan, and then the next day they're still on that couch.
Yep.
You came in and you just hammered it every day, and I think you've hammered it pretty much every day since, haven't you?
And one of the weird things, and I don't tell many people this, because I don't air my dirty laundry usually.
Yeah.
So at the start of COVID back in March, our restaurant shut down because we weren't equipped really for to go and like that world of things.
Yeah.
And we just assumed like, oh, they're doing this little 3-week shutdown and then COVID just goes away and life will be back to normal and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So we're like, we'll just shut down for a couple
It's only
weeks.
supposed to be 14 days to flatten the curve, remember?
Yeah. And like that. So that's when I actually took my online real estate class. Because I was used to working 55 hours a week. So I
extra time.
Well, with that, like the $900 unemployment I was earning a 6-figure income. So like that didn't touch my income.
Yeah.
So I put my house into forbearance for my mortgage. Like, hey, I might need like a little help and like, let's figure this out. So they're like, great, we're going to put you in 3-month forbearance. And your loan, because it's new, you bought this house in the last year, we can't just throw it on the back end. But don't worry, because with all this, they're changing the legislation and we'll be able to put it on the back end. Like, it'll be fine. So I was like, okay, like not a big deal. Then we'll just do that. So I did a remodel, like everything. It was like a rehab that I moved into. So I took the extra money and like paid off the rehab stuff.
Yeah.
So I call in like June, like that was like March. So April, May, June. At the end of June, I call and I'm like, hey, I'm ready to like start making payments again. I'm back to work. Life's good. Like, let's go. And they're like, hey, they haven't made that announcement yet to move it to the end, but they're meeting on the 18th of July. So we're going to put you in forbearance another 3 months. It's like, okay, not a problem. And then you'll just throw it all on the back end. Sounds good. And this is literally the bank telling me, like, dude, don't stress. You're good. We got you.
Yeah.
So, so now it's July, August, September. At the end of September, I call and they're like, hey, that never happened. And it's and it's not happening.
Yeah.
So what we're going to need you to do is you have 6 months to pay back the 6 months you didn't pay. Plus you have to start paying. So like you have to make double payment. We're going to need you to pay $5,000 a month. And I was just like, well, listen, like if I could pay $5,000 a month, I totally would. Like not a big deal. I would just pay it. But like you didn't approve me for more than I got approved for because I can't afford double payments.
There it is.
Exactly. Like, where is that money going to come from?
Like, I was like, you have to figure out. But I was just like, here's the great thing. And again, I'm young, I'm naive. I'm like,
Here's the great thing, though. I'm not paying you, but here's the best part.
I've had my real estate license for a month.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I got you. I just got my real estate license. I'm totally going to be able to make the $16,000 I owe you.
Yeah. Okay.
In 6 months, like I'll definitely do that. Like no problem.
Yeah.
Because
I
let's
got my
be honest,
real estate license.
real estate's really easy.
Yeah.
And not a
like
problem.
I'm killing it.
I'm so naive. I don't know.
I'll be
I don't know what I don't know.
Next time you see me.
But I was just like, I just can't do it like every month on the first. So like, what can we do?
Yeah.
So like, I get passed up to guy, get a vice president. He's just like, what industry are you in? I was like, I'm in the restaurant industry. Like, perfect. So it's like, because the restaurant industry was directly impacted by COVID,
Yeah.
You are allowed, I can put you in forbearance for another 6 months. But he's like, do me a favor. He's like, do me a favor, pay your on the first, pay.
Okay.
And he's just like, if you can catch up, amazing, great, through your real estate. If you can't, when we hit the end of the 6 months, then whatever, like if you paid off 10,000, you have 5,000 left, we can then spread that out over 6 months and you'll be in a much better position.
Yeah.
So I literally like was just in the mindset of like failure isn't an option because I'm not losing my house.
Yeah.
So I literally I was out of forbearance, like coming out April 1st. On March 7th, I finished paying off everything I owed from my real estate.
Congratulations.
Yeah. But I was determined. It wasn't like I had to succeed. It wasn't an option.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, in March, almost the same time I'm paying that off, and again, it was $15,000. It's not like I was killing it and like making the most.
Yeah.
But Mark reaches out to me. He's just like, hey, like, why in the world aren't you full time? And I was just like, hey, Mark, I totally appreciate that. I'm replacing a 6-figure income.
Yeah.
So for me to make that switch, I need 6 months worth of bills, in the bank. So that way I'm just not stressed. Like, I don't want to come here and like, I don't have a deal this month and whatnot. And he's just like, listen, quit your job tomorrow. Come here. I promise you, I will not let you fail. And you're going to crush it. Like, it's good. And blindly or not, I said, okay. And so I was obviously a managing partner. It's not like a server that like, here's my 2-week notice.
Yeah.
So I gave him like 3 weeks note or 3 months notice.
Oh, I was going to say
3 months.
I wasn't like a server with 2 weeks. I gave him the extra week.
I gave him one extra.
I gave him 3 months notice.
By the way, at the end of this 3 weeks, you're going to re-owe me for the rest of the 3 weeks. I learned this trick from a bank.
Exactly. So
great.
I gave 3 months notice, and July 1st I started full time.
Yeah.
And that was 2021. And I was so excited. I think this is a very common thing I see in real estate. I felt like how nice this is going to be. I have freedom now. Right?
Yeah.
And one of the things I learned, and I try to teach people now, when you first start in real estate, you actually don't have freedom, you have flexibility.
Yeah.
And don't confuse them.
Yeah.
And what freedom is, like Mark Z, that if he doesn't show up today, he's built enough passive income that he could pay all his bills, be okay, feed his family, not be homeless, like life's great.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. Yeah. So I really didn't have freedom. I had flexibility to control my schedule. Instead of having to be somewhere at 10 o'clock in the morning, if I had something to do at home, I could be there and then just come later. But it didn't mean I didn't have to work.
Right.
So like the first week I showed up every day and I was all happy. And then the next week I was just like, yeah, screw this. I'm going to work from home.
Oh yeah, because everybody does that, and it works great, doesn't it?
And you've never heard that before. I guarantee.
It's going to be so much better for me at home.
Yeah,
because that's where all my stuff is.
There's no distractions.
There's no distractions at home,
especially after COVID, though.
Yeah, it's so much easier. And it worked for you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I did it for a week,
and
I discovered that laundry got in the way.
What?
A TV show got in the way.
No, shut up.
My dogs got in the way.
Not your dogs.
Your bed got in the way. My couch.
So you're telling me
my girlfriend, like, hey, you're home. Can you do this?
Yeah.
It could be girlfriend, spouse.
I get it.
Hey, can you take the kids? Because you're just home anyway.
Yep.
Like you're not working. You're at home.
Because you're at home.
Yeah.
So what I discovered is I spent 20 years of my life showing up somewhere at 8 a.m.
There it is.
And was very productive. And when I stayed at home, I wasn't.
Yep.
So ever since between 8:30 in the morning, I come into the office every day and I start my day. I have my routine and I go.
And that's the one thing that I've noticed too, is you really have throughout the years, you treat this like a job. You have a time that you show up. And the craziest thing is you treat this like a job that you're always required in overtime. At least from when I was out here, you were here until you got it, and then you went home. So I've seen you here early and then stay super, super late. And I think that's one of the misconceptions. I'd love to get into this too. This is the part that I told you I wanted to talk about, because people say things about you. You know those,
For sure.
right?
Yep.
The biggest thing what do you? Let me ask you a question. What do you think the biggest thing that people are saying about you, like when they're talking about you behind your back?
The most common question I get, where they sort of say it to my face.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I like this.
So they give you all the good leads.
There it is.
Right?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Because we have the ability to look at the 400 leads we came in.
Yep.
And know that these 10 are the ones that are going to pend. So we'll just give them to so-and-so because we like them.
Yep.
But no, it's the funniest. And here's the deal.
Yeah.
I am as guilty as anybody. When I see someone who's really successful, I begin to justify.
Who's your Chad?
So I'm gonna like throw a name out there. He was amazing this year. Bernard Shaw.
There he is. Yeah, good old Bernard.
He did. He
give it up for Bernard.
He beat me by I think 500,000 or 600,000 this year. Was the number one agent in all of EXP in Michigan this year.
Yeah, he
killed it. And I would find myself like, oh, well, he has this new construction site and he's getting a couple sales a month from that. So like, you want to know what? Bullshit. He worked for it.
Yeah.
He went and got it and he deserves every bit of that. So like I would have when I would catch myself, it's like, no, like he worked harder than you. He went and got something. If you want that too, go get it. And I think so it's just natural to like, instead of saying I didn't work as hard as I could to beat him or to get what they have, our natural is to try to justify they get all the good leads. They get they have this. They have all
there's
these
a reason. It's not just because they worked hard.
Yeah.
Like they're just getting it.
So So don't you get all the good leads though? Like, isn't that a thing?
Wait, are we debunking
happens?
this right
So
now?
I want to know: is this partial truth, right?
So I closed 103 deals last year.
Yeah,
for 25.5 million.
Incredible. Yeah.
And 62 or 63 of them were self-generated.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's something that surprises me even. And I know how hard you work.
And because it's my value prop. Yeah. So what's my value prop? I'm just here to help you.
Yeah.
So the most common thing I get, and I listened to Mark when I first started, he said, if you do 20 to 25 deals a year and you stay in front of the people you've closed and reach out, keep reaching out and make sure they don't forget you. In 5 to 7 years, you'll never make a cold call again because it'll be all referrals and repeat business.
Yeah.
So like I heard like, oh, well, like 20 times 7 is 140. So like if I do 150 deals, I'll never have to make a cold call again. Like sign me up for that deal. I'm in. So I was always units driven and a mad rush. I think now I'm like 230. Like early last year, I crossed over that 150 mark. And literally still to the day, like right now in my new role, I'm not prospecting as much looking for the new. But like I just got a lead last week that was, hey, you sold us a house in 2021 for $250,000. Since then, we got married, had a kid, have a dog. We're pre-approved for $600,000. We don't need to sell our house to buy. Can you help us buy a $600,000 house and then turn around and sell our house we have that's probably $325 now? So $1 million worth of business, like boom, that falls in my lap. Because I stay in front of them. And because I come from that place of like and help, I get a lot of repeat business and an unbelievable amount. I don't think there's a week that goes by that I don't get at least 1 to 2 either repeat or referral business at this point.
That's I didn't know, man. I fell for the propaganda when it came to that. I just assumed because this team is such a lead heavy team. Now I will say though, if I'm not mistaken, you were able to do that because you did build it off of leads though.
Oh, 100%.
But you continued to follow up and do the thing that everybody doesn't do, which is ask for referrals.
Well, and again, this is something that Mark and I talk about. The biggest mistake in my business would be very easy for me to say, hey, I did 63 last year for 12 or 13 million myself. I don't need you and I don't need your leads and I'm going to keep all my money.
Yeah. Yep, people do that.
But when I looked at the spreadsheets and literally broke it down, had I got 100% of my sphere, and had zero expenses, didn't hire any assistants, didn't hire anybody, had no printing cost, didn't have to pay for pictures, didn't have to pay for signage, had zero expenses. And then I looked what the company gave me and the leads that I closed from them. I was still plus 30,000 where I'm at.
Yeah.
And that's if I had zero expenses. The real realistic end of it is I'm probably going to have at least 20 to 30%.
Now there's got to be a break even point though, right? Like there has to be a certain point where that becomes true because you're at where you're at, or is that true right off the bat?
So one of the greatest things that I think we've done that a lot of teams don't is I get rewarded in a higher sphere split the more I do. So
I knew it. That's by the way, the second thing, by the way.
So
is
like
that,
right now I'm like I think I'm up to almost 85%.
Yeah.
So like I'm only losing 15. Like if I went somewhere else
yeah,
and got 100% of my sphere, I'm only gaining 15%.
yeah,
But I get 100% of what the company gives me on their leads. And what's more important is like I did that 63 last year. So now my database for referrals and everything is those 63 people. But I also did another 40 from the company and that the company gave me.
Yep.
And that 40 is now a new source of referrals for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
you need to get it. Like you need to get it to a point where you literally can't keep up with your referrals in Sphere and have to give those out and hire a team or build a team to do that. Like that's the point you do something drastic.
Yeah.
And maybe make a shift.
Yeah.
But so many people, like we had a guy who had an amazing year. He did 70 deals last year. But like 32 or 33 were personal and the rest were company gen, and like planted the flag. I don't need you. I'm going to go out on my own. I'm going to do it. And we looked and we're like, here's the thing you don't realize is like that was your first good year in real estate. And it was amazing. And like I crushed it and he did amazing. But like you don't have enough history yet.
Yeah.
And even if you redid your 30 personal, you're going to grow this so slow. And get there. You know, it's like, do you want to take the Lamborghini or do you want to take the pedal bike?
Yeah.
Like you can get there by yourself, but why would you want to when you could ride in style and get there quick?
So you in that you hit the second thing that everybody's saying about you, right? That you got a sweetheart deal. And what I love about when people talk about this is I love that people are saying it as if it was just handed to you one day for absolutely zero reason whatsoever. And you actually just talked about your split.
Yeah, no. So it starts like everyone who starts on our team starts at a 60% sphere split.
Yeah.
Once you hit 50,000 in GCI, gross commissions income, you go up to 65. You know, the next one's like 100,000, then it's like 150. And like, so it tiers up. So again, the more you bring in, we want to reward you and give more of it back to you. But we can't like, you know, an agent who hasn't proven yourself or anything like that. Like we also are in business and we have to make money for it.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing thing. And it's set up so nice. Like if your GCI resets on August 1st every year.
Yep.
Which is fine. But your split doesn't. So whatever I earned last year carries over. And let's just say like I got sick, I had a bad year, whatever happens, I can't fall back more than one tier in a year. So let's say I got sick and I just did no business this year in anything.
Yeah.
And I was at 85. Well, the next one back's 80. So like then next year I'm going to be at 80. And
you're not resetting.
85. Yeah.
Yeah.
And honest to God, like Mark's such a great guy. I'm pretty sure he would look at me and be like, I ain't even taking you back.
And, well, I want
Right.
to say, but if that happened, okay, and this is, I guess, the point that I want to make. If that let's just say that happened, right? Some catastrophe happened in your life, that happened. Mark, and you say Mark's such a great guy. See, what happens is the reason that he would do that is also because, like you said, you're not just running in here and you didn't not do anything. You literally took the system and ran with it and provided your own success because you're here and you've actually worked. It's funny because actually we had that quote. We were talking about that quote, right? You said something about the luckier.
Oh, yeah. I saw a quote and it's one of my favorites. The harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yes. And see, everybody else will look on the outside. And that's what happens. They say to him, oh, you're just lucky, right? Mm-hmm. Mark's gave you a sweetheart deal. If you had a bad year and Mark didn't even take you back to where he should have, he left you at where you're at. And they'd say, oh, see that Chad, he's the golden boy, right? But you became the golden boy because you produced diamonds, brother. That's what people miss.
Yeah.
The guys at the top are there because they've done something, right?
100%. And even still to the day, if you gave me a choice, I would love to do 25 deals for $1 million each and do my 25 million and like ride off into the sunset and be on easy street and like life's great. But from the start, I literally took anything because it was a learning experience.
You did.
For me.
You did
like
take
I literally,
anything.
I didn't care. Like
Yep.
if it was 50,000 in Detroit
Yep.
and no one wanted it,
This is the truth.
give it to Mikey. He'll eat anything. Like I'll take anything. I'm going on I went on a lead yesterday that was a 50,000 in Redford, edge of Detroit. I'm going on a Detroit appointment today, and like literally, I don't care. Because again, it's just volume for me. And like one of my first leads that I got in December of 2020 was an 80,000 brand new investor lead. They had no idea what they were doing. They've never invested before. Like nothing. Ended up, I transacted with them in July of 21 for our first transaction. I then bought 4 more investment properties for them. I bought her and her boyfriend a brand new house, primary. We sold both of their primary houses, and it ended up in over 2 million in volume.
Yeah.
And like 7 deals. Just because I would talk to her when nobody else would.
Yeah, there it is.
And and again, like if you're looking to be in this game long term, like don't worry about like again, like that one I'm working now. They bought for 250. It's not a bad price point, but it's not the sexiest. It's not like everyone's like, I'm going to retire.
But the next time you see them, it's $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah. And the biggest thing that you've done that I don't think most people understand, I try to tell realtors this all the time, and anybody in business, really, if you're an entrepreneur that's bringing clients in, they see that as a singular transaction. What people seem to forget is that one person is 3 transactions if you handle it right.
And then those 3
are 3. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
It's all about the bait. Like I don't care about the first one.
Yes.
Like even Zillow, like our Zillow Flex splits.
Yeah.
I'll be transparent. They suck. You know, Zillow wants 40%, and then we have to split. And
then you have a team
and it
split.
happens.
Yeah.
But if you look back at my business, even though I do 25 to 36 Zillow deals a year, which is fine and it's great. If you look at the referral business and repeat after it that I don't have to pay anybody like, I get 85% of that. So, so this one that I might have gotten 1% total. So if it's 300,000 deal, I might have only walked away with like 3,600 with like after splits and everyone's paid.
And it was again, a problem client. You spent
most people would be bummed out and all that. But then the next deal, I get 85% of it and so on and so forth.
And their friends and family and all that other stuff. That's what it's all about. So are you still in the mindset? Because that's how you were in the very beginning and throughout most of your career. It sounds like you're still in that mindset of if somebody's there and they're willing to list it, I'm going to go and look at it and do it. Are you still doing that stuff?
Do they have to?
If they want to.
Do they want to or do they have to?
Yeah.
I go to the have tos.
Yeah.
Fish where the fish are. You know, like I have I probably take, honest to God, 80% of the listing appointments I go on. And I wish I could say, because my listing appointment's so great and it's amazing. And it's like,
it's just because nobody else will take it.
No, it's like, you sold a house for my buddy.
Yeah.
He said, I need you. Can you come list my house?
Yeah, perfect.
Sure.
Yeah.
I will take all the come list me's.
Yeah.
All right. Good. I'm glad.
No, that's genius. It is genius because back to the same modern way, everybody looks at it, even like the prospecting, 2 hours sitting on the phone cold calling or 2 hours in an open house. You just did 2 hours of prospecting.
Prospecting's prospecting. I don't know how you do
I think it's really interesting the way you look at things. It's love that.
Do you only do 2 hours of prospecting?
Whatever it takes to get.
That's what I thought.
Want.
Yeah.
Like
what's your average? Do you know what your average prospecting time is?
It probably is close to 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's probably
you're
doing
about
all
10
hours a week.
You're doing. I just want to be clear with people. So you're doing all of this based on consistency. You're not one of those people that's like, I'm in here for 8 hours every day, just on the phone grinding it out.
No.
Calling.
So
people.
here's the funny thing.
Yeah. We love funny things.
Because probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago, Mark started coming back to the office, or like when in COVID he didn't, and he took a little hiatus, and then he started really getting back engaged into the office more. And he set up his desk like literally right next to mine. Yeah. And at the end of 2 months, he looked at me and he was just like, I don't know how you do it. I was just like, what do you mean? And he's just like, you keep putting 5 to 8 pendings on the board every month, which is amazing. I've never seen you on the phone. He's like, but he's like, but whatever you're doing, it's working.
Yeah.
I'm a texter. So
Yeah.
I literally get everything like 95% of my business done through texting. I don't pick
Wait,
up a
you're
call or
allowed
talk
to
anybody.
do that, Chad? You're allowed to text people?
Johnny, as we said, you could build it through open houses. You could build
Wow.
it through calling FISBOs. You could build it however you want.
Yeah.
Just find something you like to do that you can do that you will do and do it.
There. I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's going to segue great. I have something special for you. We're going to, we got a little game that we're going to play. And your answer at the end is actually a great segue to go into the game. So I gotta redo the screen here. But before we get to the game, we do got to mention that this podcast is sponsored. And we want to thank our sponsors out there. This podcast is being sponsored by Title Partners. They are a true partner to us, and they've brought this entire podcast to you guys, from the equipment to the software. And so they're your partner too if you enjoy the show. And if you're in real estate, specifically if you're in Michigan and you're looking for a good partner, that Title Partners, they're not just to do your title work. That's the professional term for it. Not just I'm
killing it, Johnny.
gonna edit this clip and send it to them. We are professionals, not just to do your title work, but to be a true partner to you. And check out their information in the show notes. They've got all sorts of things and tools that they can help you grow this year. Thank you very much for Title Partners. Chad, I have this fun game. This actually, we loaded this morning, and because we're down a computer, I'm going to have to shift my stuff around. But we also, again, thank you, Title Partners. We have a new licensed game theme show music too.
Yay.
Yeah. Let's play a game.
It's lovely.
Thank you. Yes. So here we go. I'm going to smooth my screen over here so you can see this.
Okay.
And we are gonna play a game now. I'll put this in here. This game is called Would Chad List It?
Ooh, that's fun.
So Summer hasn't seen any of these.
I haven't.
Odds are the answer is yes if they have to.
If they have to. I know. I was going to say, I think we already cracked the code to this.
Right. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna start. So the first one, if I remember correctly, and I'll change it, the first one is actually commercial listing.
Okay.
They definitely, we'll just say yes, they have to list. They are currently happy because they're a child daycare. Recently, a new water feature has been added to that daycare there. I don't know if you can see that. There's your child daycare right there. And a new water feature has come through, as you can see. So that would you list that? I don't know how to do both these. They're just going to have to listen.
So here's the stupid.
Would you list this?
Here's the stupid
You've
answer.
listed that?
At the right price.
Yeah.
Everything sells.
What price do you think you'd put on that place right there?
I mean, obviously we'd have to run comps and everything like that.
Yeah.
And little restoration,
Commercial?
in there.
A good deal on that one.
But yeah, I mean, for honest to God, for the right price, everything sells.
For the right price, I would buy it.
Yeah, hang on.
For the right price.
But
You say that, but let's check this one out here. So this one here is next. I heard the lady has to sell.
100% I would list that.
Yeah. So the only problem, so she has to sell, but you got her. The lady that lives here, she's a real witch and an extremely difficult client to deal with, and hates children. How are you handling her? Exactly.
The same way I handle.
How do you
everyone.
handle the hard clients?
So this is one of the things that I see so many agents struggle with, and it's maybe my background or where I come from. I just treat them like human beings.
Yeah.
Like honest to God, like.
Oh, sorry. This isn't a human, by the way. This is an ogre that lives here. I forgot to mention that.
And I would treat them like an ogre then. And,
Right.
No, like
give it an onion.
Like really, like your hard clients. They just want to be listened to.
I love
they want
how
to be
serious
heard.
he's
Like no, like they
I'm
literally
listing that house.
why wouldn't I?
Yeah, yeah.
If they have to sell, like why wouldn't I? Like what do I care? I can't tell you how many times, even my Detroit listings that are 30,000, I flat fee them for 5,000 or 6,000. It's like a $200,000 sale for my income.
Look
like
at that.
what do I care?
See what comes out of the game show.
If it sells, it sells.
That's
like
it.
Like like if you want $1 million for your $100,000 house, probably no, I wouldn't list it because it's a waste of money, effort, and resources.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to take $1 less than $1 million, like I'm not that guy. Good luck to you.
Speaking of the $1 million listings, this house right here, this house is a new open concept, open floor concept on this home right here.
2025.
The
New styles.
Room for upgrades. Make this your own.
Yeah. that hit the mark.
Also would have accepted the wife got the other half of the house.
Yep.
So the game shouldn't be with me. Shouldn't be would you list it? It should be what's the caption? Like what?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like what's your hook?
We'll switch that. There's the hook for this. This one I like too. This one is this house is great. I already know what the hook is to this one. This guy has to sell only because he's moving. The Switch Job oil company down in Texas. His home is literally lakeside. Like it's one of the best lakeside properties I've ever seen. It's for those of you that
so
don't,
close to the water you could reach out and touch it.
Yeah, for those of you that listen to the podcast instead of watching it, the house is 90 degrees slid down a hill and currently in the water.
Lakeside.
Yeah. But yeah, so would you list this house in this condition?
For the right price?
It's like you got to draw the line somewhere, though.
Like literally,
do you own a house that's in the water?
I don't.
How does that work?
But I'm also selling the land, everything. There's so much. Like I'm literally selling a house in Bloomfield Hills. We're closing on it next week. I got both sides of it. That the guy, his whole intention is just tear the house down.
Yeah.
Really?
Paying $400,000 to tear the house down.
Yeah, I believe
What
that.
do I care what you do with the house?
Yeah.
Like so.
Well, I
maybe,
like that you asked that.
Maybe the property is like has enough room to rebuild a great new house, and I could get it for a steal.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, there's great value there.
I love that you ask, why do I care what you do for a house? So this next house, this gentleman cannot live within 100 feet of a school. He's also needs to be represented as a buyer. Are you going to take him on as a client?
Everyone deserves a chance, John.
All right, man. I appreciate that.
That's
really,
a fun one.
Really, here's what's crazy and funny. 6. It's one time I had 6 this summer of like the common misconception. I have to sell my house to buy. So every agent like tackles it like, we have to get your house listed and do all this, and then we're going to start shopping. Yeah. I'm backwards. I'll shop because shopping's fun.
Yeah.
I ended up having 6 this summer contingent upon selling a house.
Yeah.
What a great position to be in, because they don't fight me on anything on selling their house because they're going to lose their dream house.
Exactly.
So like we get something a little lower than we wanted.
You're like, but
well, hey, we can fight for more.
Yeah.
We also have potential. Like we have to get this done in this amount of time. Just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because they have to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we put them in a position where they have to.
You put them in the perfect position.
But they're not upset. They're getting the house they want. They're selling the house they have.
Yep.
They're making it happen. Like, they thank me at the end and they give me referrals.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing I want to know is, can they live within 100 feet of a school? That's all. Do you ask that? Are you allowed to ask that?
No.
I don't think we are.
Are we not allowed to ask
No.
that?
Yeah.
Again,
maybe it's a rental property. He's not going to live there.
Yeah. Check for cameras. Awesome. Well, thank you for playing our brand new segment here. Let's play a game.
Woo! I actually texted Johnny this morning and I was like, I'm going to be 10 minutes behind. He's like, great. I'll take your 10. I'll add 5. I came up with a brand new game. I was like,
See,
I'm not surprised at all.
We've been playing games, but I was like, how can I turn this into a segment? So
Yeah,
there it was.
no,
We
that
have
was
music
fun.
and everything licensed. Good
Lakeside.
times. We're coming up to an end, but before we do, I want to ask you this, because we were talking last week, and I'm sure people on your team are seeing this too. A lot of the megas that I talk to and coaches and the teams that I've coached and agents I'm talking to, this is been one of the most difficult starts to a new year going in. We know the real estate market shrunk even more this January, but you guys are actually doing really good this year.
We are right now. The cold weather last few days slowed us down a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're more on the edge where like a week ago I was like, we're slam dunk.
Yeah.
But to set a team record for pendings and listings.
See, that's crazy.
Both.
Wow.
And again, we're trying the few things I took over in October, and I assessed, and in November started meeting with people, and really tried to bring that concept of like, I don't care how you build your business.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? And let's figure out how to do it and
Yeah.
what you like to do.
Yeah.
And because of that, we had one of the most work productive months of December I've ever seen. Like on any given day, we had 15 to 20 agents in the office in December,
Wow.
which
Yeah.
usually past like the 5th or 6th. Like
Mhm.
it used to be me and 2 other people, and it was a different 2 each day, but like that was it. But our team worked through December, and it goes the old adage, if you work, it works. So we're
Yeah.
we're having so many people have best months ever this month.
Yeah.
It's like the funny thing is what we call our top producers, we call our sharks.
Yeah.
And our sharks are just starting to hit their stride this month. Like of our 4 or 5 people that we always look to, like, oh, they'll at least do 3 and most likely 5.
Yeah.
As of 3 or 4 days ago, no one had over 1 of that group.
Wow.
And we're setting records. And again, we lost a top producer because he was going to go in, he could do it better himself.
Yeah.
Which is usually like had been the last 5 or 6 months, 7, 8 deals.
Mhm.
But we're able to rebound because we're working with our new agents. We're teaching them. Like I taught a brand new agent. He just came to the team in like June or something, July. But he put in an offer at the asking price was $425. It'd been on market for over 100 days. He went in at $405. They countered at $420. He countered at $415. They came back and said $415, 2% done. And he's like, looks at me. He's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Well, when they countered on his
Mhm.
commission, and the hardest thing for us to do as agents is 1, not get emotional about it.
Yep.
And 2, look at it as a true counter.
Yeah.
It's no different than had they said, we'll do $419 and pay 3.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
pay you 3%. So I was like, explain it to your client like that.
Yeah.
Basically, we have a couple options here. You could accept the $415 at 2%. And we presented like, hey, they countered us. They said $415 is okay, but they want us to pay 1% of commissions. Not like the dirty, you have to pay my commission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that sounds dirty. They want us to participate and pay 1% of commissions. We have a couple options. 1, we could take that if we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2, we could counter back. You know, maybe
There's options?
maybe we go $419
Yeah.
and they pay 3%, or $419 and give us 1% in concessions.
Yeah.
You know, like, so we can get there, and like then he doesn't have to pay. Maybe we just offer $417 and 3%, and if they come back and say, hey, like we'll maybe get a 0.5% extra and $417, and we can get it done for him. Like there's so many things we could do. So he presented it to his client because he was so nervous. Like, I don't even know what do I say to my client? What do I say?
Yeah.
So I was just like, just give him his options. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's perfect. So he gave him the options. Guy's like, I'll go $417, not $1 over $417, but they have to pay the commissions.
Okay.
So we went back to the agent. It's like, hey, this is where we're at. You know, he won't go anymore. He doesn't have any money to contribute, and that's where we're at.
Mhm.
And oh my God, if you take 3%, that only puts me at 2%. And and hey, we totally understand, but you negotiated that and did all that on the front. That's on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
This is our offer.
Yep.
Okay, I think I can make it work. So we're just waiting for signed offer back.
Wow.
So like we're literally working with our newer agents and
Yeah.
teaching them how to navigate the market and handle it. So I think I have probably 3 or 4 agents that will have their best month ever. We have 3 or 4 brand new agents that have never done a deal before that are
Yeah.
going to pen a deal this month.
Yeah.
Because we worked in December, we did the work,
That's it.
and then and again, now we're just the support structure for them.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, when you hit that roadblock, like just when I start, hey, go. When you
Yeah.
hit the roadblock, ask. And
Yeah.
we're here to help.
Exactly.
And that's what we're doing for them. And it's working. And honest to God, the energy's great. Everyone's having fun. Because like I'm not like sitting there like you have to call for sale by owners. I don't care if you don't want to call for sale by owners. You have to.
I checked your
Side
dial
note,
time.
For
Yeah.
me, it's funny because I was telling Johnny the other day, it's the one that I dislike the most is for sale by owners. And
Go
he
for
was so
those.
shocked because he's like, it's not expired. I'm like, no, I feel
Yeah,
like expired.
yeah.
I
They're
just,
easy. Expired. Like I would call expireds actually.
yeah.
Because they've already listed and they've already listed with an agent. So
Yeah.
they think
Yeah.
they need help. They just like
They're, you know,
houses sell for like there's 3 things that affect a house: marketing, condition, and price.
Yeah.
So if you didn't sell, it was one of those things, and they don't align. Like
Yeah.
your price doesn't align with the condition.
Calling expireds, it's
Easy.
breeze.
Well,
but it's the for sale by owners, and I couldn't really understand because he's like, why? I'm like, I don't know why. Like, I don't mind talking to people, but after listening to you speak, it's definitely because I already know they know a realtor is going to call them. They're already annoyed.
They're jerks.
You know what I mean?
They're the jerks.
Exactly.
You know, like, and again, there's tons of business there. And there's
Yeah,
people
100%. But it kind of just opened my eyes up because it's like, that is true. Like that group of people, you know, they already made up their mind. They already thought about it and they decided they don't want to work with a realtor, but expireds, they did work with the realtor.
And here's the flip side. Like we have a guy, he started it at Jeff Glover.
Yeah.
And he literally does call 8 hours a day. He's killing. He took, he's on pace to take 10 listings this month.
Wow.
He took 7 or 8 last month in December. Like he's crushing it. And we have people who are raising their hand who said, like, I really would like to build my business that way. Like that would be great for me. So we've created like role play calls in like that little group. Like he role plays with 2 or 3 girls. Every day they have a slot. They have to call them at that time and they have 10 minutes and they role play. And now anyone who wants to get in that, the original people who are in his group, they're going to role play with the new people. So they're building their skills.
Yeah.
And we're teaching them just some value prop and things of once you start talking, how you can relate to these people and do more. So we have one girl who took 2 listings this month. She's like maybe taken 3 listings in her 4 or 5 year career. And she's taken 2 this month and almost got another one. And has a couple more appointments yet. And so we're letting them build it how they want. And because of that, I think they're enjoying it and actually doing the work.
When I think that you hit it, I want to make sure that this came out. So the question was, or the question that was hidden was, why is it that some agents, there's so many agents out there that are complaining and saying that they're struggling and that they're not able to do anything. And then there's you guys and people on your team that are having their best month ever. And you answered it. You answered it multiple times. If you listen, I heard you say work at least 17 times in the last 3 minutes.
Hey,
I just worked it.
I love Austin Chevron when he says this. Like, I can be your rudder, but I can't be your motor.
That's
like,
it.
you have to do the work. Like, there's no secret. Like, if you do this, you don't even have to work, and like everyone just falls at your feet. Like that doesn't exist. Anyone who says it does, you should run away and like get as far away from those people as possible. But the one thing I think, like I said, we're having success because we're opening the doors to like you get to build your business however you want and do the work you like to do and have success doing. And let's just do more of that work than like saying, hey, everybody has to be a listing specialist and call for sale by owners or expireds.
Yeah.
If you want to call them and like let me support you and I'll get you role playing groups and this and like we're gonna provide that for you. But if you want to do it through Zillow, if you want to do it through buyers, if you want to do it through open houses, if you want to be a networking fool and go to like 10 networking groups, like I don't care, but like don't come to me and say I didn't prospect at all. I did 0 hours, 0 work, 10 weeks in a row, and I can't figure out why I don't have a sale.
Why
like because you didn't do any work.
That's it. Oh man, I love it. Chad, this has been absolutely great, but it is that time, summer.
Oh, it's that time. It's time to hit the lights, lock the doors, and pull the sign. We're going to end Open House, the podcast. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and we hope you all have a great week.
For those of you that are listening right now to the podcast, we always end with a AI created song. Here is this song now. And for those of you that are joining us live on the podcast, of course, that song hasn't been generated yet. You know, I thought would be fun. What genre? This is your episode here, Chad.
Okay.
What genre of music would you like your episode to be? And we're going to create it, and then when the podcast comes out, it will be there. What genre of music do you think you are?
Probably like
I think in K-pop.
K-pop.
It's so hard. I'm so all because I lived in Nashville for 8 years.
Okay.
So I have some country.
You got some country love.
Okay, we can do that.
But I grew up on like grunge.
Okay.
You know, like 90s, like one of my claim to fame.
Love that.
I may have had a fake ID. I may not have.
Yeah.
But was
allegedly
at industry back in like 95.
Yeah.
And it was dead. And so we were there for $2 22-ounce Budweisers and $2 shots of Jaeger until 11. And we're like, well, we'll at least get our Jaeger and Budweisers until 11 and then we'll leave because there's no one here. And all of a sudden we're up in this back private bar and the security starts running all over the place. We're like, we have to stay. Something's going on. And 10 minutes later, we look up across the way and Hole is there. So Courtney Love and her band Hole.
Okay.
We're playing a concert. So they're there.
Yeah.
And their drummer, guitarist at the time was dating Drew Barrymore, and Drew Barrymore was with them.
Wow.
So like, there's only
no offense, but Drew Barrymore also dated Tom Green, so I'm not really that impressed with.
but
But it's Drew Barrymore.
but she dated Tom Green
at like 19 years old. It's like like we're gaga over Drew Barrymore. She's from ET. Come on, it's our era.
You were Drew Barrymore. I always thought that she had a stroke. I was never really a big Drew Barrymore fan.
She was actually super cool because there's only like 30 or 40 people, and she's like, I want to dance. And her boyfriend didn't want to go dance. She looks at us, me and my friends, she's like, you're going to come dance with me.
You danced with Drew Barrymore?
So it gets better. We're like, Drew, like, we can't go dance. Like, if we leave, we can't get back in. You're Drew Barrymore, like, you're getting back in. But like, it's like, you come with me. And she looks at the bouncers. These guys are with me. If I hear you don't like let them wherever they want to go, you literally are all fired. And like, then we went down and danced with Drew Barrymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
High five.
I love that.
That is awesome.
I love that. What freaking genre? No, I'm just kidding. I got the answer. The answer is Drew. No, we'll do country grunge, I guess.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, that's an amazing story. You've danced with Drew Barrymore.
Hasn't everyone?
Yeah, well, Tom Green did. That's,
I'm pretty sure.
You were before Tom Green, though, so that's cool.
Way before.
Way before the Bum Bum
I'm
song.
pretty sure that Drew Barrymore on her next podcast she's like, I dance with Chad Apap.
That's
100%.
That's how it's going to go
100%.
And then Tom Green on his podcast could be like, right before I came along, there was Chad.
Was it the Chad?
Was it the Chad? That is so funny. Do you know who Tom Green is?
I know, not the way you guys know who he
we're
is.
gonna have to educate you with the Bum Bum song.
But the best is in Charlie's Angels, the movies.
Yeah.
Tom Green's like dating Drew Barrymore in the movies.
Oh, really?
And his name is Chad. And like she's leaving, and like she's leaving, and he looks. Was it the Chad?
My favorite
and
band.
She's like, the Chad was wonderful.
It was you. It was you the whole time. The whole time.
My favorite part about this is how Chad's like, I know every Drew Barrymore movie. Like, I've seen them all. 50 First Dates memorized.
She was really, really like cool and like down to earth. And
like,
she is.
No,
even
like
today, she has a talk show. I think she has a podcast, actually. Yeah.
No, we'll invite her on the show. Drew Barrymore, you're welcome to come on the show.
It's Chad.
Wouldn't it be fun if we could reunite? What if we could recreate that night for both Drew Barrymore and Chad?
Yeah, you pretend to be the bouncer.
I'll be the bouncer.
I'll be dancing on the floor already.
You'll be one of the friends.
One of the friends, yeah.
Or the server.
I'll be the server.
Giving him his $2 whatevers.
All right.
And then we'll bring Drew Barrymore on, and then we'll just then we get a chance to see how you dance. I love it. Why don't we here? Let's do this. That plant is Drew Barrymore. No. Why don't you go and show us the moves?
That's on my OnlyFans.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's plural
Not
on
safe
yours,
for
though,
work.
right?
Not safe for work.
All right, y'all. Hey, listen, that's what you get when you stick around live. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Thank you again for Chad for hanging out with us, for Title Partners for sponsoring this entire show. We appreciate it. And we will chat with you guys at the next open house.
Bye.
Peace. And in broadcast song.